Pretty much as soon as it is socially acceptable to, I love listening to Christmas songs, all Christmas songs. But hidden amongst the jingle bells and the harmonies is actually some of the most profound theology that we could ever get our heads around. And this year there's one line that has left me astonished and amazed and overwhelmed once again at the story of Christmas. It's from O Holy Night, and the line says this: "Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth." When God comes near, the soul feels its worth. See, I think that we live in a world that has forgotten its worth. We are image conscious, fashion conscious, self-conscious. Our most powerful communication tool is filled with pornography, communicating what exactly about our worth. The cost to end world hunger is 30 billion a year, and yet we spend 1.7 trillion a year on clothes because we need them. The world's fastest growing global crime is human trafficking, the buying and selling of people. We have forgotten what we are worth. See, we teach people that they came from apes, and then we're surprised to discover that they don't know who they are. We have forgotten that the one who loves us and dreamt up every quirk of our personalities, the way you tilt your head when you're listening, the one who breathed all of those things into us, and not in some abstract, ethereal sense, but face to face. Adam and Eve, mankind, are in the garden, and there's this incredible intimacy between God and man, face to face, and then sin comes in. We chose to walk away from God. Sin arrives, and with it shame, and suddenly we can no longer look God in the eye. Adam and Eve hide their faces from him in their shame. We went our own way and we lost our dignity. We forgot our worth. But he wasn't okay with that. He wasn't content to leave us in our shame, and so he leaned down once again, only this time he lost all of his dignity and took on the deepest shame possible in order that we might become as dignified as it is possible to be. Sons and daughters of God. Sons and daughters who laugh in a certain way because their father made them that way. Sons and daughters who can play the piano and create beautiful art and fix cars and understand mathematics and be incredible parents because God breathed that into them, and they can show the world what he is like because he came near. There's this bunch of shepherds present at the birth of Jesus, which is entirely ludicrous in itself. These guys were banished to a field. They were not worthy to be in a living room or sat at a dining table. But then God comes near, and these guys get the call up. The worthless shepherds and the Almighty God. And yet, lying in a manger, God becomes the least dignified person in the room. Philippians 2, God made himself nothing. A tiny, defecating, helpless God child. God chooses to become the least dignified person in the room. And not only do these rough, unclean shepherds hear about this inglorious miracle, they end up face to face with him. In this tiny, crowded stable, he is right there looking up at them. And as the undignified God child looks them in the eye, their soul feels its worth. That is the ludicrous and glorious truth of Christmas. That God so loved the world, that God so loved you, that he gave his only son. As God comes near to you this Christmas time, I pray that your soul would feel its worth.